Okay, I wanted to show this recipe to you that I've been using for about a year. It turns out really well. It's crusty Italian bread, and it's going to require 3.5 cups of flour. I like to use this bread flour from, I forgot who it is already, King Arthur. And inside of that, you're going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of coarse salt, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and a tablespoon of minced dried onion. You're going to dry mix this to get it thoroughly mixed. And then you're going to work on the water. Now the water you're going to want 110 degrees, and then you're going to add in your teaspoon of sugar, and you're going to mix that around. That's a little food for the yeast. And then you're going to mix in a tablespoon of dry yeast and mix it around. And then you're going to wait about 10 minutes, and the yeast will start consuming the sugar and bubbling up. And you want the water to be at 110 degrees. If it's hotter than that, it'll kill the yeast cells, so make sure you use a thermometer. This is what the top of your container should look like with the yeast and the sugar after about 10 minutes. It's all foamy and bubbly and smells really delicious. It's going to go into the bread next. Okay, it's been about an hour and it's risen up in here, doubled in volume. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide it in half, and we're going to make a round dough. What's that called? Don't know. Bagel?
Loaf.
Loaf. We're going to make a round loaf, and you'll see in a minute. So I have parchment paper that you're going to put the formed dough ball on while it sits out a little bit more. So first thing I gotta do is divide the dough. And then I put a little flour down. Get the dough ball out. And get it covered in the, and you want to tuck it under so that you get a nice round looking ball. Should look like that. Then I've got some coarse kosher salt that I like to sprinkle on the top. And then I put it on this parchment paper. And then the rest gets put in the refrigerator. We have our dough ball with the salt spread across the top. Now we're going to put it in the oven. In the oven I have a 3.5 quart cast iron pot with a cast iron lid that we're going to drop this into, and we're going to let it cook for 25 minutes, and then we're going to take the lid off and let it brown. So follow me over to the oven. So here's my pot. It's at 450. And I'm going to drop it in with the parchment paper right into the pot. And then I'm going to close the pot, push it into the center, set my timer. And now we wait. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's take a peek. Come on in. We're going to look in the stove here. Pull this thing out. It's hotter than hell. That's looking pretty good. I think we're not going to go to 25. We're going to just leave the lid in here and put it back in for another 5 minutes. And it should be nice and golden brown. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Oh yeah. What do you think? That looks really good. Now comes the hard part. See if you can get it out without burning yourself. Okay. Gonna leave that in the oven to cool. Turn it off. And here it is. Let that cool. And we'll slice that up for supper. All right, it's cooled down enough to where I can cut it. I have my trusty bow knife, and here we go. Okay, and there you have it, fresh Italian crusted white bread.